Thank you, ma'am. All right, let's get started. Let's get started. Welcome, welcome, everybody. We're welcoming you that are here right now. Somebody, maybe you're watching this at a later date, later morning, afternoon, evening, whatever that is. This is the Time to Tell the Truth series. And if you know anything about that word, time to tell the truth or to tell the truth, that means you're a baby boomer because you remember that TV show, right? But I'm Dr. Roz. For those of you that don't know who I am, and let me make sure I introduce myself to you. Most people call me Dr. Roz. My full name is Dr. Rosalind Shaw Belt. No, I'm not a medical doctor, but I am a certified wellness coach, although I do have a couple of doctorates in theology and divinity. But I'm most proud of the CEO of Dream to Life. It's an LLC. It's a nonprofit that we're going to be doing many, many things in the years to come. I'm a wife. I'm proud to be the wife of Miss Dr. Adrienne Belt, musician, and a bunch of other stuff I've done. But today I am functioning as a certified wellness coach because I'm concerned about the lives of God's people. Because we need to change some things. We need to be informed about some things because we're destroyed for the lack of knowledge. Yes, certified entrepreneur and lifestyle consultant, as well as a certified wellness coach through our Flat Belly Lifestyle 2.0 program that has been put together by our CEO, Melissa Boston, and our naturopathic doctor, Dr. Eric Prince. So let's get started. This is part five of Sugar, Sugar, Where Are You? We've been dealing with this because we found out that it's everywhere. And I'm not talking about the song Sugar, da, 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 da. No, I'm not talking about that one, okay? So today I want to really touch on, and I hope I get through all of this. I hope I don't have to break this one up because I planned on ending it here and next week getting into diabetes directly. But let's deal with this because there's some people that have asked the question about insulin resistance. Maybe they haven't been diagnosed as a diabetic or pre-diabetic, but they have insulin resistance. Well, what is insulin resistance? It's when your body uses a hormone called insulin to help move sugar from your body into your cells where it's used for energy. But when you're insulin resistant, thereby the word resistant, your cells stop listening to the insulin. It's kind of like ignoring a doorbell. The bell rings and nobody answers the door. So what does sugar do? It just stays in your body longer. And then your body starts making more insulin, trying to force the sugar in.
There is no growth without insulin. If you're consuming excess, or if you're consuming things that drive insulin, and the higher your insulin goes, the more fat you're going to lay down. Worse yet, that fat then releases proteins that feed back on the liver and make your insulin work even less well. And now you've got insulin resistance, and you're going to drive even more insulin up and more fat gain. And you can't get the fat down until you get the insulin down.
So we've got to conquer this. And a lot of people, they feel like it can't be conquered, or they're doing things in their lives trying to deal with it. But there was a doctor, and I always like to reflect on the wellness experts and what they have to say. This doctor by the name of Dr. Gerald Schulman, he's the professor of medicine and endocrinology and cellular and molecular physiology. So that means he's done a whole lot of studying, right? He said that one of the major threats to global health in the 21st century is insulin resistance. And it's a key factor in the development of type 2 diabetes, cardiovascular disease, fatty liver disease, neurodegenerative, get that out, disease, and obesity-associated cancers. He says if we understand the molecular basis of insulin resistance, that can lead to novel therapies that help prevent these diseases. And that's what I'm all about. That's why I'm doing this. That's why I'm sharing this information. That's why I do the research, because I want to see people prevent. I want to see people reverse. Maybe you already have it, but you can reverse it.
All right, so someone wanted to know, is it possible to reverse insulin resistance, and how long does it take? So this video is for that person. First of all, what is insulin resistance? It's a condition whereby the cells are no longer absorbing insulin. So insulin is being rejected, okay? And so in the receptor for insulin, it's just not receiving insulin anymore. The consequence of that is this. Without insulin, the cells can't get fuel, they can't get nutrition, so they're starving, they're hungry, and you're craving carbohydrates. There's a little signal sent back to the pancreas because it's not getting absorbed inside the cell that tells the pancreas, hey, we don't have enough insulin, make more. So then the pancreas makes more and more insulin. So an average person with insulin resistance has 5 to 7 times more than normal. The problem with this is that this high level of insulin creates damage in the body. Also, the fact that it's not getting into the body that well, it can raise your blood sugar. So you got high blood sugars because the purpose of insulin is to lower the blood sugar. So we have this dynamic of the hormone trying to do its work, but it can't. So then it can't control the blood sugar, so it can start going higher and higher and higher. Yet at the same time, the cells are starving, they're hungry, and if you have insulin resistance in the brain, then if they can't get fuel, they die. That's Alzheimer's. Okay, so that's really what it is. So what causes insulin resistance? The overexposure of insulin. Okay, what causes that? The chronic consumption of carbs and eating too frequent. Okay, frequent meals and snacking. How do we fix this problem? Well, you just reverse the process and you do prolonged absence of insulin. So we just avoid the triggering of insulin over a period of time. Because here's the problem. If you don't fix this, you're not going to get weight loss. So all those workouts that you're doing are a waste of time. All the diets you're doing don't really work. And you're going to be hungry all the time, so you're not going to be able to stick to it. Now, based on my opinion, it takes between 3 to 8+ months to reverse insulin resistance. But the cool thing is, you can also reverse prediabetes and type 2 diabetes. Now, my guess is that doing keto is responsible for maybe 20 to 30% of the improvements. Intermittent fasting is responsible for about 60% of the improvements. If we add those together, we get about 80%. But if you do the healthy version of keto with intermittent fasting together, you can get 90+% results. Why? Because the healthy version of keto itself supplies the key nutrients, okay, zinc, vitamin D, chromium, potassium, magnesium, the B vitamins, to help speed up the process. And if you want to enhance and speed up your results, you would add these things: exercise, reduce your stress, increase sleeping, certain supplements to take more of certain nutrients that target the beta cells of the pancreas that are involved in insulin resistance.
Wow. So you know what I like that he said more than anything else? This is what you do to reverse it. See, I love that word reversal.
Do you want to improve obesity, insulin resistance, high blood pressure, high cholesterol, and inflammation? Intermittent fasting might be the answer you're looking for. Every time we eat, our bodies make insulin to help move sugar from our blood into our cells. In a healthy individual, insulin levels rise with breakfast, lunch, and dinner. And it takes about 3 to 4 hours for the insulin levels to fall. Someone who snacks between their meals will have high insulin levels throughout the day. The insulin level in the body isn't given a chance to fall. After a while, the cells in the body stop listening to insulin, giving rise to insulin resistance. With intermittent fasting, we allow our bodies experience periods of fasting and feasting. During the fasting window, our insulin levels naturally reduce. This gives our cells a much-needed break from constantly being exposed to insulin. The result is improved insulin sensitivity, weight loss, and reduced inflammation.
One of the other doctors that I listen to, naturopathic doctors, Dr. Bobby Price, he says we shouldn't be cows. Cows graze all the time. They graze all day long. They're always eating something. And a lot of times that's what we're doing in our lives. We're eating all the time. We're eating a snack here. We're eating something here. We're putting something in our mouth. We go somewhere and we're eating. And so you've heard of probably intermittent fasting. See, fasting is a practice that involves completely abstaining from eating or avoiding certain foods for a fixed period of time. Matter of fact, many of us are doing the Daniel fast right now, avoiding certain foods, right? But people have practiced fasting for centuries. And sometimes we do it for spiritual and religious purposes. But in recent years, intermittent fasting has become increasingly popular when people are looking to lose weight or improve their health. And so when you're insulin resistant and you're always looking for insulin because of what you've been eating, because of the kind of diet you've had, we need the body to rest so it's not looking for the insulin. And so there are a lot of different ways to do intermittent fasting. There's no one and done. There's no cookie cut. It's based on what you're able to do. And matter of fact, if you've never done it, you got to start where it's simple. No single plan will work for everyone. So individuals will experience the best result if they use the various styles to learn what suits their lifestyles and their preference. So let's touch on this for a minute, and then I'll come back. Because I want you to know there are different methods of intermittent fasting. So one, you can start out, if you're a beginner, 12 hours a day. So that means what? A person could choose to fast between 7 p.m. and 7 a.m. When is that? That's when you sleep, right? They need to finish their evening meal before 7 p.m. and then wait until 7 in the morning to eat breakfast. Now, that doesn't have to be the number 7. For you, depending on what time you go to work, that could be 6 and 6. That could be 5 and 5. But it's a 12-hour period of time. But you want to make sure that you are not eating during the times that you're sleeping, okay? Number 2, fasting for 16 hours. So we can progress through this and go from one level to the next, or just stay on the same level, and it's completely up to you. But you can fast for 16 hours and leave an 8-hour window for eating. They call that the 16-8 method, or the lean gains diet. This type of intermittent fasting can be helpful for someone who has already tried the 12-hour, but didn't maybe experience any results, no benefits. Because on this fast, people usually finish their evening meal about 8 p.m. And then they skip breakfast and they don't eat again until noon. Now, some of you may find yourselves automatically doing that because you don't eat early in the morning. You didn't even know you were intermittent fasting. And then number 3 is fasting for 2 days a week. Find you 2 days that you decide. It's called the 5-2 diet. Eat standard amounts of healthful food for 5 days, and then reduce your calorie intake on the other 2 days. For example, you may fast on Monday and Thursday. They don't have to be consecutive days, Monday and Thursday, and then you eat regularly on the other days. There should at least be one non-fast day between the fasting days. Number 4, alternate day fasting. There are several variations of this plan, which involves fasting every other day. Alternate day it's pretty extreme. It's a pretty extreme form of fasting, and probably not suitable for beginners if you've never fasted anytime, but or you have a medical condition. But it may also be difficult to maintain this fast for a long time. So for some people, alternate day fasting means a complete avoidance. They'll avoid food, solid food, or fasting on those days, while other people maybe do a limited number of calories, like 500 calories. And then on the feeding days, they choose to eat as much as they want. Number 5, a weekly 24-hour fast. Sometimes we do that, fasting completely for 1 or 2 days a week. That's known as eat, stop, eat diet. Involves eating no food for 24 hours at a time. And then many people fast from breakfast to breakfast, or from lunch to lunch. Or sometimes I've heard people even in churches, they'll fast up until a certain time, maybe 2 p.m., and they don't eat anything, or 4 p.m. And they follow this diet plan with, you can have water, tea, and other calorie-free drinks during the fasted period. So you're only on water, or you're only on tea. People may benefit from trying a 12-hour or 16-hour fast before transitioning to the 24-hour fast. And then lastly, this one's extreme, the warrior diet. Yep, it's a relatively extreme form of intermittent fasting because it involves eating very little, usually just a few servings of raw fruit and vegetables during a 20-hour fasting window, then eating 1 large meal at night. And then that eating window is usually only around 4 hours. And of course, you're not, gulging in the wrong kinds of foods.
I'm Dr. Frida. I'm an MD who has been triple board certified, and today I'm rating your refrigerator, and we're going to talk about some of these foods that can be toxic, that can raise your blood sugar. Now, yes, among other complications, we know that high blood sugar levels can lead to diabetes. Millions of Americans have diabetes, yet 1 in 4 don't even know that they have it. And let's talk about prediabetes. 1 in 3 people in the United States have prediabetes, and largely it's because of eating foods that raise your blood sugar. Now, according to the American Diabetes Association, we should be taking in less than 10% of our calories in foods that are high in sugar. But you already know, we do much worse than that. It's an issue. And the foods that we eat that really have a high glycemic index are ones that cause a big problem. Now, when I say glycemic index, I'm talking about a measure of how quickly your body absorbs food that raises your blood sugar level. And the measure is from 0 to 100. 0 is a nice low glycemic index, and 100 is the highest, meaning that it's a food that you eat and boom, the blood sugar really raises quickly. And we're talking about the really simple sugars and the high fructose corn syrups, things like that have a super high glycemic index. We'll talk about that. So now, with no further ado, let's get started. Let's talk about some of these foods that can secretly be raising your blood sugar, and they're sitting there right there in your refrigerator. Number 1, fruit juices and sodas. Yes, they can really raise your blood sugar. So I mentioned that the American Diabetes Association recommends that we take in less than 10% of our calories in sugar. So if you have like a 2,000 calorie diet, you should have no more than 200 of those calories in sugar. And the American Heart Association is actually a little stricter. They recommend that if you are a man, you have no more than 36 grams of sugar in a day. And if you are a woman, no more than 25 grams of sugar in a day. So let's talk about a 10-ounce glass of fruit juice. That has 25 grams of sugar. So if you're a woman, you've already gone up to your limit in just one 10-ounce glass of fruit juice, and you probably normally will drink more than that. And then sodas, that's no surprise. One 12-ounce can of a soda has 32 grams of sugar.
Now, we've already touched on the insulin resistance aspect, so we already understand why we're insulin resistant, and we don't want this to progress to prediabetes, to type 2 diabetes, and definitely don't want to progress to type 1 diabetes. And on next session, we're going to be really dealing with the whole diabetes thing, because it's running rampant in our neighborhood, right? I need you today to keep this number in your head all the rest of the evening. That number 25 if you're a woman, that number 36 if you're a man. Because I'm going to show you, we don't know what's in our refrigerator. She said the fruit juice and the sodas. Now, we've heard people talk about the sodas, but people often think they're doing a good thing because they're drinking apple juice, orange juice, grapefruit juice. All fruit juices, whether it's apple, orange, grape, or a fancy blend such as a peach, mango, blueberry, is high in sugar. The only way it's not high in sugar is if you made it yourself. If you took the apple and put it in the juicer and squeezed the juice out of it. An 8-ounce serving, if you went to the grocery store and you get that 8-ounce serving of juice and cola, both contain about 30 grams of sugar. Excuse me, 30 grams? How many are we supposed to have per day? 25. And then if you drink it more than once a day, okay, well, you do the math. That's almost 8 teaspoons. See, so there's a reason why we have belly fat. There's a reason why we're obese. There's a reason why we're overweight. There's a reason why we have high blood pressure and diabetes. Plus, most commercial juice eliminates wholesome fruit parts like skin and pulp. The juicers eliminate that, right? Important sources of fiber and nutrients. But when we're juicing, we end up getting what we need from the fruit. It's better to eat whole fruit to get the whole, everything that we need out of that fruit, to get more fiber and cut down on the sugar. Consider this. Most of us are not likely that we're going to sit down and eat 3 apples in one sitting. But it's easy to drink 3 glasses of juice. It's easy to drink the equivalent in 8 ounces of juice. It's easy to have one today and one, hours later, one with one meal, one with another meal. So we got a sugar avalanche that we don't even recognize that's taking place in our lives. And then Coke, what do we say about Coke? 39 grams of sugar. That's even more than the men are supposed to have. That's about 10 teaspoons. And I personally have known people that drink 3, 4, 5 Cokes a day. More than 80% of the recommended daily intake for a healthy diet. Let me just show you, because I don't want, maybe you're not that person, but if you know somebody, maybe you can get this information to them. Maybe they won't hear you say it. But look at this list. Orange soda, 49 grams. Sparkling juice, sports drinks, sweetened bottled iced tea. If you're a female, all of this is over our limit per day. Every bit of it, even the energy drinks, the apple juice, the coconut water is a little bit under it.
Number 2, flavored milk. Now, it's one thing to have the natural sugars that come in milk. And of course, if you want to choose a healthier milk, then something that's non-dairy, like an unsweetened almond milk, will be great. But when it comes to flavored milk, please don't be fooled when you're giving that to yourself or to your kids. Don't think that it's healthy, because if you're adding chocolate syrup or strawberry syrup to your milk, that can really raise your blood sugar. In fact, 1 tablespoon of chocolate syrup that you might put in your milk has 9 grams of sugar. And if you have kids with a sweet tooth, they might want more than that.
Hey, I'm telling you, we've got to make sure we understand. Understanding is going to take us to another level. Milk. Milk does vary in fat and calorie levels, depending on the type of milk. Besides white milk, there are flavored milks like pink, strawberry, chocolate, banana, salted caramel. So we try to get the kids, this is what we're doing to our kids. We give them that chocolate milk. We give them that different flavored milk, okay, trying to get them to get some milk in, because they lied to us and told us milk does the body good, but it doesn't do the body good. It does the body a terrible place. But look at the sugar content. Now you see it says cow's milk, no sugar, because it's straight from the cow. But by the time it gets to the grocery store, by the time it goes through the process for you to take it home, whole milk, 12 grams of sugar. 2% milk even has 12 grams of sugar. Skim milk even has 12 grams of sugar. You got to go to the unsweetened almond milk, the unsweetened soy milk to get less than what we need to. And I have had relatives who drink milk multiple times a day, because they got milk in their cereal, and they drink a glass of milk later. And you understand what I'm saying? And then vanilla, almond milk, chocolate milk, 23 grams, 15 grams. So we find ourselves thinking that it's okay, and it's not. And we're doing this from when we were a child to our adulthood. And so by the time we become adults or young adults, because it's happening younger and younger, we find ourselves dealing with different issues just because of the milk.
Number 3, jams and jellies. A lot of us, when we're eating our breakfasts, even if we think we're being healthy, we'll get our multigrain bread and we'll put jam on it, or we'll put some grape jelly on it. Well, be careful, because that can raise your blood sugar. Just 1 tablespoon of jam has 10 grams of sugar.
So the more you're doing this, and especially if you're insulin resistant, you're adding things that you can't even accomplish, because your body says, I can't even do this because I'm resisting it, but yet you're still eating that food, and you're still adding that jam and that jelly to your plate. And while both jam and jelly is high in sugar, jam generally offers a slighter, healthier option than jelly, due to the inclusion of whole fruit pieces. Some of y'all remember back in the day, our grandparents, how they used to, put it in the jars and stuff and get it all together. Well, see, that was a lot healthier then than what we do now, because those whole pieces at least had the fiber and the nutrients in it. But both jam and jelly can be high in sugar. So it's important to check the labels. You don't want to go over the 25 grams in a daytime. That's the goal. If we're going over that, at least we don't want to be triple and quadruple and just crazy numbers, knowing that we're putting and trying to force, especially if you're insulin resistant, you're trying to force that sugar in you, and it's backing up on you. And your body's saying, chill out. Don't even give me that, and let me get myself together and begin to reverse the state that I'm in. So you want to consider choosing jams and jellies made with natural sweeteners or opting for sugar-free versions. Preserves tend to have less sugar than jams because they're made with larger pieces of fruit in the thicker syrup or jelly, while jams are made with mashed fruit with a higher sugar content.
Number 4, energy drinks and sports drinks can really spike your blood sugar quickly. And of course, if you're an athlete and you're exercising, you're losing your electrolytes, when you drink that sports drink, you're trying to be healthy. But just one 20-ounce sports drink can have 32 grams of sugar.
When I saw this, and I've seen it multiple times from different teachers, it helped me understand why we're seeing so many of our athletes drop dead. So many of our athletes are having cardiac arrest. Because when they're out there playing, they're pulling them over to the sideline and they're feeding them with sugar. Yeah, they're feeding them with a sports drink that really is doing more damage to them. Here's just a list based on sugar content, some of the energy drinks that are considered the worst. Rockstar Punch Energy and Guava, tropical guava flavor, Monster Energy, and yep, Red Bull. See, if you're listening to this and you've been diagnosed with prediabetes, diabetes, these are the things that you should not be doing. And if you've been diagnosed as insulin resistance, these are the things you should not be doing. Because you're trying to force insulin in your body, and your body's already resisting it because of previous things in your diet, previous things that you've been doing, that's trying to back up on you. And now it's your sugar is getting higher and higher because the insulin is not flowing through your body. Rockstar, this particular one, look at it. It contains 20 teaspoons of sugar per can. Monster, 54 grams of sugar in a 16-ounce can. Do the math. There's a formula, 54 divided by 4. That tells you how many teaspoons. How many teaspoons you ought to put them. I told y'all last time, take it and put it in a glass and see how much sugar that you're drinking. I bet you wouldn't just turn the sugar up. And then Red Bull, 51 grams in a 16-ounce can. And I've seen people chug a lug. I've seen people when they're cramming for a test, they got cases of Red Bull right there waiting to keep them up and don't know that it makes you crash just as much as it gives you that pickup. Full Throttle, NOS, Mountain Dew. They got an energy drink, guys, with 66 grams in a 500 milliliter can. 66. Somebody do the math. What is that? 66 divided by 4. Put it in the chat. How many teaspoons of sugar is that? That's more than Coke. Coke, 54 grams. Pepsi, 56 grams. And don't be deceived by the no calories or the 0 calories and all that. Look at that label and see how many grams of sugar it is. And all of this is exceeding our daily portion that we're supposed to be taking.
Number 5, sweet tea. Now, if you are in the South, sweet tea is really probably one of your staples. Now, I'm not talking about natural teas or teas where you're not adding sugar. I'm talking about sweet, good old sweet, sugary, syrupy tea. If you run by one of these fast food restaurants and you order yourself a medium sweet tea, it has 30 grams of sugar. Now imagine if you're at the cookout and you're sitting there and you're just drinking tea all day. You're outside, it's hot, and you're drinking multiple cups of that tea. Well, that's 30 grams after 30 grams after 30 grams, and you are raising your blood sugar.
Oh my God, I'm raising my hand too, Queen. Look, I told y'all my story. I would go and order sweet tea at the restaurant and have packs, say bring me 10 packs of sugar, putting that inside the sweet tea. And y'all know, like she said, if you live in the South, well, I won't just say if you live anywhere, but I know in the South, we love our sweet tea and we want it sweet. If it ain't sweet, you didn't make good tea. So the sugar content of sweet tea, it varies depending on the ones that you buy in the store, depending on the label. But that homemade sweet tea, oh my God. We may use, there's no telling how much sugar we put in it because it's not good tea unless it's sweet. But we don't know that we're killing ourselves. We're causing ourselves, we're leading ourselves down the road to diabetes. Commercial brands like Arizona, Lipton, and Pure Leaf all have 32, 24, and 64 grams of sugar. Divided by 4, tells you how many teaspoons. I double dog dare you to put those teaspoons in a glass and just look at it. Okay, that's what you want? Then turn that glass up. You don't even have to turn the bottle up because that's what you're literally doing. You're literally drinking sugar, just liquefied. The restaurant sweet tea has about 40 to 60 grams of sugar per 16 fluid ounces. And then a lot of us, like you, if you're like I was, will then take packets and add to it.
Number 6, condiments. Yeah, condiments like ketchup. Typically, when you think about your condiments like ketchup, honey mustard, barbecue sauce, sweet chili sauce, some of your dressings, you're not thinking about sugar. But please read the labels because they are loaded with added sugars. 1 tablespoon of barbecue sauce might have 7.5 grams of sugar. And you know you use more than 1 tablespoon at the barbecue. And how about ketchup? Who doesn't load their French fries up with ketchup or their burgers? 1 tablespoon of ketchup has 12 grams of sugar. You get my drift? So please, when you're putting these condiments on, be cognizant. Look in that refrigerator. This can be raising your blood sugar.
What's in your refrigerator? Okay, let's talk about this ketchup. We all use ketchup, most of us. So I know some people put ketchup on everything. They put ketchup on greens, they put ketchup on their eggs. But I do put ketchup on my French fries. And I wanted to know, I had to find out how much is 1 little packet. 1 packet of ketchup is 1 teaspoon. Okay? It takes 3 of those packets to make 1 tablespoon. So if you go out, how many packets do you have to put on your ketchup, on your French fry? Because if you got the bottle, we just squeeze. Or if you're like me, you squeeze them on the side so you can dip. Contains 4 grams of sugar per tablespoon. We're loading ourselves up. And see, when you think about this, let's say you ate something, you sat down, you ate hamburger, French fries, and then so you got the ketchup, you got the mustard, that has sugar in it. And like she said, going to the barbecue, oh my God, no way, there's no way that you're just putting a tablespoon on the ribs. There's just no way, right? It's being loaded. And that's 12 grams per serving. And then the mustard, the honey mustard, the salsa contains only 2 grams of sugar per 2 tablespoons, a little bit better. Worcestershire sauce contains 1 gram of sugar. So it doesn't mean you can't use these things, but we need to use them a lot less than the way we've been using them. Because a lot of times we're just going crazy. Some of you love your mayonnaise, and it ain't vegan mayonnaise, right? So it's 1 gram of sugar per 2 tablespoons. 2 tablespoons, no, you're using 20 tablespoons when you put, because you want it dripping on the sides.
Number 7, fruit yogurt. Now, certain plain yogurts, Greek yogurts definitely can have some health benefits. They can have probiotics. They're definitely low in sodium, but some of these fruity, sugary yogurts can be high in added sugar. So just make sure you're watching the label on the yogurt that you eat. Just 1 container of a popular brand of strawberry yogurt, 1 little small container, can have 16 grams of added sugar. Question: can you name a food right now that's in your refrigerator that you think might be secretly raising your blood sugar?
Yeah, we can all do that. What's in your refrigerator? That's why we're talking about this, because there are things in our refrigerator. There are things that we go to the store thinking that we're doing okay, like yogurt. Surely, what harm is getting yogurt? But it's the flavored yogurt. It's those plain yogurt. Make your own yogurt. Add your own fruit to it. These are just a few. Yoplait is one of the most popular ones. I don't know in your area which one is the most popular. I've seen Yoplait in the store. I've seen Stonyfield Greek. I've seen Chobani in the store. And look at that, 26 grams of sugar for Yoplait. All those different flavors they have, and it's really good. It's really good, but too much sugar. So,
number 9, frozen pizza and frozen meals. Now, this one might surprise a lot of people because many folks think that if something is not sweet, then it doesn't have a lot of sugar. But pizza is a very savory, right? Savory and sometimes salty dish, but it can be loaded with added sugar. Let's just take 1 slice of pizza, for example. 1 average slice of pizza can have 13 grams of sugar. Yeah, 7 in the crust, and 6 in the sauce. It's not just that bready, starchy crust, but the tomato sauce can be loaded with sugar as well. That's one slice of pizza. But how many do you eat? 2 slices? 3 slices? Multiply it out.
Okay, confession is good for the soul. Any pizza lovers in the house? How many slices of pizza do you eat? Anybody just eat one? No one can eat just one, right? Some of us get the whole personal pan pizza and get it for ourselves. But the worst store-bought pizzas, I've looked this up: DiGiorno, Red Baron, cauliflower crust, Freschetti, Kirkland, the Party Pizza, Tombstone, Home Run Inn. This is a list of the worst store-bought pizzas, the ones that have the most sugar in them. This is a list of the worst store-bought frozen meals. Yeah, it's convenient. You just stick it in the microwave or stick it in the oven. But I'm telling you, check out that label. Look at the grams of that's on these boxes that they're hiding from us. Or are they really not hiding it from us? Because they have to put it on there, but we're not taking a look. We're not being careful that we're not finding ourselves indulging. And if you just ate one box and you never ate another one for another month, that might be okay. But if you're that person who doesn't like to cook and you're always buying a store-bought frozen meal, you're making it easy on yourself because you worked hard all day and you ain't got time to be laboring over the stove, and you're not finna go out and buy anything, and you're cooking this for the whole family, you're doing this to your family.
Number 10, leftovers like pasta, rice, mashed potatoes. Again, these are savory foods that can be loaded with added sugar. So if these are in your fridge, be careful.
Be careful, she said. And so I got to want to talk about this. When she got to talking, I said, okay, let's see. There's a difference in, because we've been on the Daniel fast, and a part of that is to do brown rice. And I've always had a difficulty with brown rice because I never could fix it right. But because of this, I've become to master it because I looked up how to make perfect brown rice. Well, it takes longer. That's why. It takes longer. White rice, you do it real fast. But what's the difference? Brown rice is considered healthy for you because it's a whole grain. In other words, it still has bran, germ, and endosperm. Bran is the fiber rich, the outer layer. Germ is the core, and endosperm is mostly the carbs. But white rice, that's been removed. And that's because when it's removed, it extends the shelf life, but it strips away the fiber, the vitamins, the minerals, and antioxidants. Let me tell you guys something. This healthcare system that we live in, they're concerned about keeping it on the shelf so we can go buy it. So when it gets up there, you don't have to worry about it going bad. Have you noticed when you get something that's natural, it doesn't last? You see that if it's unnatural, it can last a long time. What about the pasta? White pasta versus whole wheat pasta. The same thing as the rice. White pasta is made from refined flour, where the bran and the germ are removed. Whole wheat pasta keeps the whole grain, so it has more fiber, more nutrients, and lower glycemic index. So then why do people still eat white pasta and rice? Because of the taste and the texture. They're softer, less chewy, and sometimes easier on our sensitive stomachs. And then the potato. The potato is a root, starchy vegetable, while white rice is a refined grain. White rice is considerably higher in calories and net carbs, while potatoes are 5.5 times richer in dietary fiber. It's better for you. On average, potato has higher glycemic and insulin index values. So when we talk about pasta and rice, they take the lead in the most carbohydrates when compared to potatoes and bread, with both pasta and rice having approximately 45 grams of carbs. A medium-sized potato contains 25 grams of carbs, and a single slice of white bread contains 13 grams of carbohydrates. So which is the best for weight loss? Anybody concerned about weight loss? Rice, potatoes, or pasta, or bread? Well, the best option for weight loss depends on the type of rice. Depends on the type of rice, the type of potatoes, the pasta, or the bread that you consume. In general, it's recommended to avoid any refined varieties of these foods, such as white rice, white potatoes, white pasta, and white bread. Bottom line, we don't want white anything. Okay, none of these things we want in white. We rather have them in brown. We rather have them in the original things that some of them even are grown in. But this is because foods made from refined grains often trigger a cycle of cravings, making it difficult to control the portion size. And if you would still like to enjoy these foods, it's best to choose healthier alternatives like what? Brown rice, sweet potatoes, wheat pasta, sourdough bread, rye bread. And during this Daniel fast, I began to enjoy, I didn't enjoy it before, Ezekiel bread. That lets me know that the taste buds can literally change. And then there's this basmati rice, yeah, that's known for its aromatic grains and distinct flavor, tends to have a lower sugar content, guys. And this makes it a favorable choice for those mindful of their sugar intake. Who should be mindful of their sugar intake? Everybody. As for sugar content in 100 grams of rice, the numbers vary. Basmati tends to hover over 1 gram of sugar per 100 grams. How does that compare to what we just talked about? Do you see how much lower that is? So in conclusion, understanding the sugar content in different rice varieties empowers you to make informed decisions. I hope you leave here with an informed decision. And remember, it's not completely about avoiding rice. No, I'm not trying to get everybody off of rice, off of pasta, but be intentional about knowing what you're doing.
Number 11, processed meats. Please read the labels on these different processed meats you may be eating. Salami, turkey, ham. Many of them have added sugars and can raise your blood sugar.
Now, this really messes with people because processed meat is everywhere. When you go to this section, that's where we usually buy everything. And don't recognize, we think, when are we thinking that there's sugar? Because see, it's not necessarily the meat. It's what they're doing to the meat to keep it on the shelf. Sugar is used in large quantities in meat curing, though its role in the meat processing is not even completely understood. It's not present in the cured products or the meat itself, but it may serve to soften the harshness, the brashness of the salt, which preserves the meat, keeps it on the shelf. Beef, pork, and lamb, rich in a sugar called Nu-5GC, provides the primary sources of this sugar in human diet. The researchers want to understand why people who eat a lot of red meat are at higher risk for certain cancers, while people who eat other types of meat aren't. See, it's because of the things that that they have to use to cure the meats and to keep them on the shelf. In the normal curing process, there's something called nitrites. Nitrites is added to the brine, which is then injected in the meat. And sugar is often in the mix of that to add flavor. However, some say it can also aid in acting as an additional preservative. So sugar is also used to counter the salt, which tends to dry out the meat. And so we go to the store and we are not just eating one little thin slice of turkey. We're doing good because we got turkey, a lunch meat, but we're eating 4 or 5 of them on there. And then some of us go to Subway and we're getting that one that has the turkey, has the ham, has the roast beef. Are you getting what I'm saying? Because we don't understand. And I love rotisserie chicken, but many rotisserie chickens are injected with a solution to keep them moist and flavorful. And this solution can contain additives like sodium, sugar, natural flavors, gums, and carrageenan. Remember this about this processed meat. The World Health Organization, and I want you to remember this the next time you go to the deli section and you see all the deli meats and you see the steak and the chicken and the turkey and the sausages. I want you to remember, I hope you hear my voice. I hope I hear my voice. The World Health Organization has classified processed meat, including ham, bacon, salami, frankfurts, as a group 1 carcinogen, known to cause cancer. I didn't say it, the World Health Organization said it, and rarely do you see something that they say on the truth, which means there's the strong evidence that those processed meats cause cancer. Eating processed meats increase the risk of bowel and stomach cancer. I dare you to go and Google how many people have died this year from stomach cancer, from bowel cancer. We've had people right here in the United States that have died from these cancers. And if we would go back and look at their diets, we'd see processed meat. Because we've all been there. We all do it. Some of us eat ham, bacon, and ham every morning. And we don't want, I mean, I've heard it. We don't want thin slices. That's bacon's too thin. I can see through that.
Number 12, flavored coffee creamers. Now, see, this is a real secret, okay? It's real tricky because we know that coffee tends to have like 0 calories. And so a lot of people will sit here and drink all of their large, tubs of gourmet coffee all day, thinking they're just being so healthy, at least as far as blood sugar levels are concerned. But it's those coffee creamers, those sweet coffee creamers that can really get you. If you think about just like one little tub of coffee creamer, like the little 11 milliliter coffee creamers, like a French vanilla one, it has 3 grams of sugar. And if you add 2 creamers, 3 creamers, 4 creamers, multiply that out, you might be having 12 grams just from the creamer. So be careful. If you've got those little coffee creamers, those sweet coffee creamers in your fridge, they can be secretly raising your blood sugar.
Well, if I've got people in my household, they want the coffee creamer. Not gonna drink the coffee black. Not gonna do that. And most people, a lot of people don't want black coffee. But how much creamer are you putting in there? That's what I want you to be cognizant of. Here's a popular one, Coffee Mate. Okay, don't sue me, Coffee Mate. A popular coffee creamer can be detrimental to health due to its high content of processed ingredients, including partially hydrogenated oils, corn syrup, and added sugars, while lacking nutritional value. If you just drank 1 cup and you poured some in there, a little bit, right? But if you want it to be a certain kind of color and you got to pour more and more, and you're drinking 3 and 4 cups a day using that, look at that, 40 grams of sugar for French vanilla. Who likes French vanilla? Any hands raised? So there are other alternatives. You see that you can see some that are 0. The Coffee Mate Original is 0, but coconut milk and heavy cream, 4 grams. And then it's not what you do one time, it's what you're doing over and over and over and over again, multiple times a day. I know people that drink coffee multiple times a day. Drinking black coffee is not for everyone. So creamers like Coffee Mate, that's why they exist. That's why they're so popular. But it can provide a creamier, lighter coffee blend. However, it's received criticism for its artificial components. Let me tell you what's in this Coffee Mate. Chemical additives, potential health risks linked with a long-term use. Do you know there's somebody out there today that is sick in their body just because they're an adamant coffee drinker with the creamer? I'm not talking about the folk who can drink it black, or the folk who are drinking with mushrooms, or the folk who are drinking, but those that don't want it black. It absolutely can't be black. And you got to have the flavors. These unhealthy fats, trans fats, have been significantly related to an increase in heart disease, high cholesterol, cellular inflammation. It could be the very reason that you are insulin resistant, because you're trying to push insulin in your body that's not being receptive to it. And your body says, I need to rest, I need to rest. I need to not be trying to move this amount of insulin. Coffee Mate also contains high fructose corn syrup, a sweetener typically found in processed foods and beverages. High fructose corn syrup has been linked to many health problems: obesity, type 2 diabetes, higher risk of heart disease. Further, the creamers like French vanilla and all the other flavors, artificial flavors. That's not real. And these flavors are designed to taste like natural substances, but they don't have the nutritional benefits of real flavors. So while these creamers are popular due to their convenience and their long shelf life, I mean, we got to think about anything that can stay on the shelf a long time, there's something wrong with it, because it's processed. And it's crucial to remember that they include artificial substances that might harm your health. If you just drink 1 cup a year, but if you're that drinker every day, 2 and 3 cups a day, Just drink it so you can stay up a little bit later. You understand what I'm saying? So you can't, even though Coffee Mate is not compared to the banned cereals, that's a whole nother message. We've talked about it before, because our cereals have been banned. So many of them that are in the United States have been banned in other countries. But still, we need to be aware and monitor, because this is causing excess sugar consumption. And that's what's leading us to obesity. We're overweight. There's a reason, not because that's just your body makeup. No, it's not healthy. If it's not healthy for you, it's not healthy for you. So a single serving of Coffee Mate can add a large quantity of sugar to your daily diet. How much are you supposed to have? 36 grams for men, 25 grams for women per day. So in conclusion, Coffee Mate is a convenient way. We love it. It's everywhere you go. And there are other brands as well. But we can enjoy a healthier, safer option. And we need to choose other options. Not only gives you more control over the ingredients you ingest, but it also offers up a world of culinary possibilities. What are some other options? Unsweetened almond milk, unsweetened oat milk, half and half, MCT oil, collagen creamer, coconut milk. Healthier options. Not trying to change. I know you want that color in there, but let's use some other options.
Number 13, frosting. Okay, that's no big secret. The frosting on a cake, the icing on a cookie, that may be raising your blood sugar. You want to look for low calorie or no calorie alternatives.
Now that's easily understandable, right? Because this is why we miss this sugar thing, because we think it's only about the sweet stuff that we do. And it is the sweet stuff we do, but it's not only the sweet stuff. When you're not thinking it's going to be in the ketchup, you're not thinking it's in the mustard. But you know we shouldn't be overindulging, not just one slice. Give me 3 slices, give me 2 slices, give me 1 slice for now. No, give me a slice for breakfast. Give me a slice before I go to sleep at night. Yeah, with all this frosting. No plain cake. I need some frosting on that cake. What's in your refrigerator?
Number 14, ice cream. Oh, ice cream. Who doesn't love ice cream? Well, ice cream doesn't love you because it is loaded down with sugar. So just think about 1 cup of a butter pecan ice cream. 1 little cup. It has 32 grams of sugar. Now, if you know good and well, you run to the grocery store and you get a pint of ice cream and you sit there and eat it while you're watching TV, well, that pint of butter pecan ice cream has 64 grams of sugar. And I already told you, if you are a grown man, you should have no more than 36 grams in a day. So ice cream can definitely be raising your blood sugar levels.
All right, here's what I need you to do. Come on, put in the chat, what's your favorite ice cream? Here are the top 20 favorite ice cream flavors. Yours may not be here, but I need you to put into the chat. Let me see, what is your favorite? Those of you that like ice cream, whether you have it that often or not, maybe you used to have it a lot, but what's your favorite ice cream? I want to know. Is it vanilla, chocolate, strawberry? My favorite is chocolate. That's my favorite ice cream. And I also love cookies and cream. But what's your favorite ice cream? Drop that in the chat. All right, butter pecan. I see that. Okay. What's your favorite ice cream? Vanilla, Breyers, vanilla lactose free. Okay, I see you. Well, these are the top favorite ice cream. So think about what your favorite is, and then look at this list. This is the same list, but it's in a different order. You see what order it's in? From the highest of sugar content to the lowest of sugar content. And even the lowest of sugar content is 19 grams. Okay, so if it was, like I said, chocolate is listed right there, number 15. I think I saw a butter pecan, you're at number 17. I see an orange sherbet, it's not on this particular list. Okay, gotcha. So it doesn't mean it's lower than coconut though. It's just that I didn't list it as one of the top 20 flavors that people like. But I did want to show you some fancy dancy stuff so that you know when you see all this fancy, oh, I think I'm going to try that cookies and cream by Breyers, or the banana pudding by Bluebell. We got Bluebell here in Texas. I don't know if they got Blue Haagen-Dazs bourbon praline pecan. The fancier the name is, I promise you, the higher it is in sugar. Breyers mint chocolate chip. Ben and Jerry's chocolate fudge brownie. Wow. Sound like you want to taste them, right? But let's look. I just got excited, guys, because let's talk about the three normal favorites: chocolate, vanilla, strawberry. If you got it in the cone, chocolate, 17 to 21 grams, vanilla, 14 to 20 grams. Remember how many we're supposed to have in one day? Remember that? Strawberry, 17 to 23. Now, how many times you go into the football game or basketball game or going somewhere and they got that swirl machine? Look at the difference. It's more sugar. It's 20 to 24 of the same chocolate that was 17 to 21, 18 to 22, 20 to 20. I mean, they're killing us. And I don't know. We have Baskin and Robbins here and these other places where you go and you get that banana split. Let's break down the banana split. Anybody ever had a banana split? Confess, raise your hand, shout, say I have. Just, ice cream, 3 scoops. That's the vanilla, the chocolate, and the strawberry. All those same numbers, plus the banana. There's our natural 14 grams of sugar. And then the toppings. So you got the strawberry syrup, the pineapple, and you say load it up. Chocolate fudge, whipped cream, the maraschino cherries, right? So that's a total of 33 to 54 additional grams of sugar, giving us a grand total of 95 to 130 grams of sugar. And we eat the whole thing. No, I'm not sharing mine. Get your own, right?
Number 15, cookies and biscuits. Yes, 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 they can raise your blood sugar level. And let's talk about the glycemic index, okay? Now, we already talked about what it is, right? It's that measure of how quickly your body absorbs the food and raises your blood sugar. The higher the glycemic index, the worse. Well, one chocolate chip cookie has a glycemic index of up to 75. And remember, the measure is between 0 and 100, so that's pretty high. And one biscuit has a glycemic index of up to 72. Again, these are high glycemic index foods. They can be toxic and raise your blood sugar levels.
Yeah, she said that's pretty high.
Number 16, fruit smoothies. Don't get mad at me. I know that a lot of you think you're really doing something when you get your fruit smoothies. Oh, I'm eating smoothies. I'm dieting. I'm eating smoothies. But you have to be careful. You have to be careful if you're adding fruit juice, okay? Like that 10 ounces of fruit juice that's loaded with sugar, that could be raising your blood sugar. If you're adding certain frozen fruits or fruits with a high glycemic index, that could be raising your blood sugar levels. So you still need to do the research. You still need to look if you're adding a milk and you're adding a flavored milk, that could be raising your blood sugar. Or if you're just adding outright other sweeteners, make sure you pay attention, read the labels. And especially if you're doing like a pre-mixed or a pre-processed fruit smoothie, pay attention. All of these things can be high in sugar.
She says, pay attention. I didn't have to put any pictures for you to see. I know you know about the cakes and the pies and the fruit, the smoothies.
Number 17, beer. Yeah, I said it. Beer. I know you didn't think you were going to get out of here without me mentioning alcohol. Okay, so yes, there are some beers that are low carb and maybe some that don't have any sugar, but you need to read the label because 1 12-ounce of beer can have 10 grams of sugar. And many of you on a Friday night will have more than a 12-ounce of beer. So just be careful. If you have beer in your fridge, that could be one of these foods that's raising your blood sugar.
Now, that might not be you. You might have some cousins that always bring the beer to the party. But let me tell you what's going on. Watch this. Watch this. The Bud Light says it has 0.0 grams of sugar, right? The Coors Light has 1 gram. The Miller Lite says it's 0.0. Heineken, 0 to 1.5. Corona, 2.6. Blue Moon. You see that? Very, very low numbers per 12 ounce. Who drinks a 12 ounce? You know why I put the whole 6 ounces, 6 case on here? Because that's typically, or the box of 24 or 12. Ain't nobody drinking 1 beer. So now you multiply all these numbers by 6 or 12, because some people drink the whole thing for the weekend by themselves. What's in your refrigerator?
Remember, maintaining healthy blood sugar levels for adults and children can only promote a better health. It'll help you to prevent weight gain, help you to prevent being a person living with obesity, help you to prevent heart disease, help you to prevent diabetes, help you to prevent depression in some cases. So it is really important that you are label watchers and that you watch these foods that could be raising your blood sugar, both the sweet foods and those savory foods that might surprise you.
Thank you, Dr. Frida. Wow. So this is what we got to do. We've talked about just quitting sugar, going 30 days without sugar, going 10 days without sugar, just getting started somewhere, pushing the sugar away when you recognize that there's sugar there, detoxing the sugar out of your body. We've got bitters. Somebody can tell you about the bitters. Text them, DM them, reach out to them. If they share this video with them, ask them, what is this thing called bitters? Because it's a powerful detox tool to get those sugar cravings. Those of you that wake up in the middle of the night, get those sugar cravings out of you. And it's just 4 days. You're still able to eat, but you're going to take a tea and boil it and then remove from the heat and put the tea bag in the water and then allow it to steep for 8 hours and drink that tea, 8 ounces for 4 days. No, it does not taste good, but you can find a way to make it good. Chase it with an orange peel or lemon or something, but this is going to help you because you need to get this sugar out of you. And it's not about suffering. It's not about being strict. It's about resetting your body to break the cycle and listen to your body again. God made this body to heal itself, and we're supposed to be healthy, wealthy, and wise. So listen, come back here with us. If you just joined for the very first time, hit subscribe so that you can see all the different things we've been sharing over this time period, and share it with your loved one because you love them.